Yeah, I got my morning coffee, morning walk around the park, just chill out a little bit and talk about the brain, specifically brain scans. So, why is this an awesome topic, and why is this something that helps our life? So the idea is, for me, it's motivating. Brain scans are extremely motivating because you can see what happens in your brain potentially if you don't sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you get chronic insomnia, we can see the brains of people with chronic insomnia. People with chronic stress, chronic toxic stress, we can see they got lots of images of people's brains under chronic stress conditions versus average conditions. And it's bad, dude. It's real bad. People with addictions, right? People with drug addictions, and they scan their brain, man. They love scanning those brains, and they can compare that with them after they've recovered from addictions, and then also compare that to other people who don't have addictions. And it's really telling. There's a lot of information here. So let's talk really quick about how this works. So we got CAT scans, we got PET scans, and we got MRIs. The ones I like are MRIs, and this, simply put, works based on magnetic properties. Like the skin has different magnetic properties than the bone, which is also different than magnetic properties of the muscles. And this machine can fine-tune to a specific magnetic property. And that's how it gets awesome detailed images of inside your brain. And already that technology is pretty awesome. So doctors love this technology, and they use it to study all kinds of situations. Like I said, addiction, sleeplessness, and stress. But they do a lot. There's a lot of studies, right? And it's awesome. The studies are awesome. And what I like about this is just anybody can see these images. It doesn't take studying or understanding the math behind it. You can just look at these images and you can see for yourself how serious it is. For example, a baby with chronic stress has a brain that can be 10% smaller than the baby in average conditions, right? You don't need to study anything to understand, like, that's serious. Chronic stress is serious, and in that you can find motivation to really control stress if you understand how serious it is. And normally we don't really see the brain, right? Some people really don't respect it and take it seriously because we don't see it, but now we do. We also have new technology. It's not really new, it's like 25 years, but functional MRI. It's a kind of a fine-tuned enhancement of the MRI, where they found that blood with oxygen has different magnetic properties than blood without oxygen. And whenever your brain's processing a specific activity, it's gonna push oxygen to that area of the brain. And with this technology, we can see activity in a specific part of the brain, depending on whatever you're doing. If you're speaking versus when you're listening. If you're reading versus when you're watching a video, right? They have different places that are activated. And this is awesome because typically an MRI takes an image, but they take a lot of images and they put them all together and play it like a video. So we got essentially video of brain activity. And with this, they can use this for all kinds of situations. If you're doing math versus when you're drawing, if you're playing the guitar, you're playing the piano. One of my favorite is if you're playing rehearsed music versus if you're just improvising music. And it's clearly different areas of the brain. They compare a man doing certain activity versus a woman doing certain activity, and it's different. Now we understand that the man's brain is different than a woman's brain. They are sexually dimorphic. They are not the same. There are distinct properties between a male brain and a female brain. So this technology gives us a lot of awesome information, but really what helps us is understanding the stress and understanding that not sleeping is really affecting our brain, and addiction, right? These are like the three main topics. There are a lot, but the main one I really want to focus on is stress. Now, with this technology, we know stress increases the size of the amygdala, right? And you can study what the amygdala is and what it does, but you kind of don't want it to be larger, right? Your hippocampus is actually diminished in volume, which is something you also don't want. And we also have the idea of sleeplessness, if you're not sleeping well, we can measure the activity or lack thereof in the hippocampus, right? Also in the prefrontal cortex. If you're not sleeping well, you have diminished activity in these areas. And also people with addiction. People with addiction show seriously diminished activity in the prefrontal cortex. So sometimes you might say, like, what are you thinking? Well, to some extent, they're not really thinking, right? Because they don't got the brain activity there, or not as much as a normal person. So, I mean, I really recommend looking at fMRIs, functional magnetic resonance imaging. Like, really look at these images and videos, and you'll see, man, like, it's really telling. And ideally, it motivates you to really sleep more. Pay attention to sleep more, which then maybe focuses on what's causing you to not sleep, which could be internet addiction, right? Too many people have this internet addiction. It's unofficial. This is not in the DSM, but just out of laziness, we call it an internet addiction. But internet addiction, causing people to not sleep well. People are stressed. Also, probably because of the internet addiction. They're going on the internet and seeing chaos and seeing crazy crimes. Man, stress, sleeplessness, and itself could be an addiction. And that is serious, right? So just recommend, really, if you have some free time, look at fMRIs and whatever topic you want. Music, sleep, stress, addiction, whatever you want. Look it up. It's awesome. It gives a lot of good information and hopefully motivating you to have a better life. All right, guys, until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, enjoy life. Peace out.